Warning: the following audio may contain coarse language and other materials that may not be suitable for a younger audience. The opinions expressed in this audio are solely those of the speakers involved. These conversations may contain spoilers for current media such as games, comics, movies, television shows, and more. Grown Geeks makes no claim to ownership of the various media discussed, simply the opinions expressed. Listener discretion is advised.
What's going on, people? What's up? What's up? Another Wednesday, another weigh-in Wednesday. Oh wait, gotta get my official tag. This is Weigh-In Wednesday. We are Grown Geeks. You are awesome for being here. Man, let me tell you, today did not go as planned at all. I'm just like, I'm all over the place right now. I'm like so thrown, so confused. We had some last minute changes this week. It's second Wednesday of the month, and so second Wednesday is supposed to be our special fan casted episode. And with our fan casted episode, of course, that is typically the one where we are going to take movie projects. They could be reboots, they could be new projects, things like that, and stuff that we want to see, stuff that we want to watch. And I got audio playing everywhere. Let me try to get all of this handled. I apologize. But yeah, with Fancasted, it's content that we want to see on the big screen, and we are creating a cast. We are deciding who would be in that movie. We will pick usually like 4 or 5 of the main cast, be it for example, this week or the next one we do will be Thundercats. And so when we do our episode for Thundercats, we are going to be casting who we want to be in Thundercats, and that will be Lino, that will be Panthro, that will be Chitara, Tigra, and of course Mumra. You gotta have a villain, gotta have somebody to compete against, and that is going to be the next fan casting. Surprisingly or unsurprisingly, we're geeks. We have lives. We have things to do. And as a result of that, this week it wasn't on the schedule properly. And some people got busy. People had things to do. And that's fine. Like, I'm not a miser. Grown A Geeks is clearly nonprofit because we ain't making no money doing this yet. And I love all my admins and mods and whatnot. But they needed some time off. They had some other things they had to take care of. And so you all are stuck with me. But that's a good thing, because I like to be in here. I like to talk, and hopefully I will have some of you all join me. You'll have some stuff to say, and it'll be great. So I am just wanting to make sure that I have all of my screens up as I normally would. And just so I can see what's happening and know what's going on. Of course, as we do, I am going to put the invite for the chat, or actually for you to join in it is going to be here in the chat. So anybody want to be a part of the show, click the link, go through the little setup, and you are welcome to come on and be a guest. Okay, Twitch is doing something weird. I'm not sure what, but we'll figure that out here shortly. So yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff that's been going on, a lot of stuff that's been happening. We're still watching Last of Us. I have actually not been able to catch the most recent episode. I was over in Carrollton this past weekend, hanging out with my daughter. Had to go and, try to be super dad and help her with some things. I'm not a mechanic by any means, but she was having issues with her car and daddy to the rescue kind of thing. And went out there and tried to do what I could to get it going. And lo and behold, her car is up and running. So she is mobile again. So she's happy about that. And let's see, I have that one up, and I need to switch accounts here so I can see what's going on. But I've actually not caught up with The Last of Us. I haven't seen the last episode. I know what the episode is about because I played through the game, so I know what's going to be taking place. And, as a result, I do want to catch it. I plan on seeing it very soon. But just at this time, I have not. I've got so much stuff happening on my computer right now. It is ridiculous, the amount of work that I am working on. Now, I was working on something since it seemed like this show was going to be a little different. I thought to myself, you know what? It would be pretty cool if we just did like maybe a greatest hits, maybe a greatest hits kind of thing, pull some of our older episodes and things like that. And, I wasn't going to make anybody sit and suffer through old episodes. That I feel like should be done in your spare time. And that should be something that you choose to do, not something that you are essentially forced to do because. And so, it's not letting me close that. But in doing that, I've been working most of the day on trying to put together like a greatest hits video, a little clip show, and we may go through and if I can get it figured out in time, we may put that towards the end of the video and have our, some greatest hits because we've done a lot of stuff surprisingly, and don't need to say that. And so we have like a year's worth of video content, and trying to go through and just be like, oh, let me get that scene. Let me get that scene. Let me get that part. Oh, remember that time when we talked about this and stuff like that? It's like, man, there's a lot. And so, I'm just going to ask anybody that's interested, definitely go back. I'm trying to clean up the YouTube page a little bit and get it set where the videos are labeled a little better. So you can kind of see at a glance what the discussion is, what we're talking about, because otherwise you're just looking at a bunch of random videos and there'd be no way to know exactly what is taking place. Okay, so I have everything up. So if anybody's chatting anywhere, so that one's Facebook, that one's YouTube. Okay, this one needs to be YouTube. There we go. Okay, so now I have all my screens up there and I can see what's going on. I got my work window over here, and I'm not going to sit here and actively edit the video, but I think I can just like kind of close it out. It was actually a lot of fun to kind of go back and revisit everything that we've done over time and just kind of refresh myself with some of the things that we've talked about over the year. And it's been a blast, and I've enjoyed so very much doing this show. I've learned a lot of skills in the meantime. I have learned how to, I've kind of got the hang. I won't say I have the hang of Photoshop because I definitely don't. But I can make some decent images. I can make some things look good. Um, and I'm looking forward to more stuff that we are going to be able to do moving forward. We have hit our 200 subscribers, so yay, big cheer for that. I wish I had like a one of those nifty buttons I could press and it would play somebody clapping in the background. Um, not there yet. I will be. I'm working on getting there. Your subscriptions help me get there. So if anybody if you haven't done so already, the QR code right there, be sure to click that, and that will take you to our link tree, which shows you all of our different socials, everywhere we are, where you can find us, and that sort of thing. So the QR code right there, the one that's flashing, be sure to click that, and you can find us there. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to take Fancast It. We're going to move Fancast It to next week. Normally, week 3 is our free week where we don't really have anything specific that we're talking about. But since today is the unprepared episode, we're going to make that next week. We'll do Fancast next week, and this week will be our free discussion. Jeff has got some stuff to do with 85 South. Ty has family visiting. David and Linda, the cooks, they've got something. They've got some gaming stuff they've got to take care of because I know David's got a tournament coming up here. Denisia's traveling. I did speak with Jeff Miller. I think he's going to swing by a little later, and I'm going to see about trying to get Roberto in as well, because I know you guys, you like me, and I appreciate it, and I love you for it, but you don't want to just sit here and listen to me ramble for 2 hours, so we don't have to do that. But some specific things so that I, kind of sound like I have an actual plan here. There was let me see, let me find a folder. There was a folder I was looking for, and as soon as I find that, let's see, I think it's in pictures. Yeah, why did I watch that live notes? Let me pull this image up on the screen. Let me put it on that. Let's put it on that screen. There we go. And the month of March has a lot of cool stuff happening. The Mandalorian has started. There's 2 episodes. Second episode, Minds of Mandalore, I think was the episode that aired today. So that's something new that's just coming. That first premiered March 1st for season 3. On March 3rd, we got Creed 3 starring Jonathan Majors and Michael B. Jordan, reprising his role as Adonis Creed, and Jonathan Majors. So I do plan to go see that movie. I've heard good things about it. A lot of people kind of like it. I haven't heard any bad reviews on it. Let me say that. Everybody seems to have good things to say about it. So, yeah, you can see there we got The Mandalorian, Season 3, Creed 3. For those of you who are into the scary movies and the horror, the new Scream. What is that? Scream 6? Scream 6 comes out March 10th. And then DC coming with some goodness. Good for them. Happy to hear DC's trying to do something. This is Shazam! Fury of the Gods. This is not the first project under the James Gunn leadership. This is a project they already had kind of working. So can't really give them credit for that. But I am still very curious to see how that part goes. And nope. I was trying to... I just want to mute that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want that. I am still very curious to see. Shit, this is a project they already had. Yeah. That's going to play. If I hit play, it's going to be audio in the background. I don't want you to get that feedback. But we've got Shazam! Fury of the God. Now, this one I'm waiting for. John Wick Chapter 4. Early reviews say that this might be the movie of the decade, and that is saying a lot. I thoroughly enjoy the John Wick franchise. It is such a rich, full world full of so much excitement and mystery. And I would love, like we're supposed to be getting the TV show The Continental, which is going to examine more the story of the Continental and the hotel that John Wick goes to and when he needs to kind of lay low. And I want to get more of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely want to get more of this world. I want to understand the coins. What's the purpose of the gold coin? And like, there's such a weird value to the gold coin because you can take the gold coin from John Wick. One gold coin can buy you a drink at the bar, but one gold coin can also get you a gun at a shop. And it just seems like that value, it doesn't really have monetary value. It's more a understood or implied kind of value. And it's just like it's a weird form of currency. And so hopefully they can kind of dive into that, explain that a little bit more, because I would love to understand that part a little bit better. Spoiler, John Wick 3 kind of examines, we see that John has like more of a Russian background, and we see that he's one of the kids as part of I guess that's the Russian cartel. When he goes to the ballerina, he's like, "You have to help me." And he holds up the little, it's like a weird looking cross. I forget babe, what's the name of the cross thing that you hang into your car? Rosary. Thank you. He has this weird rosary that has like the big cross, and it's got like these big koyo beads, you know what I'm saying? And it's like all ornate. And he had that hiding in a book in the library. So that's got to have some significance. And why does he go to the Russians for help? And like he says, I'm one of your children. And you see the ballerina that's dancing has the same tattoo on her back that he has on his back. So there's so much happening in this world of John Wick. And when we see John Wick Chapter 4, that comes out March 24th, I think that will be, maybe they will give us more insight to that world. And whenever the Continental is supposed to release, hopefully we'll get some additional details from that as well. And yeah, wife knows best, it's like, hey, where's that thing I need from 5 years ago? Oh, look here. And she knows immediately. So wife is awesome. She's always helping me out in a pinch with little things like that. Full of info. Love her dearly. But yeah, it's helpful. And so we get to see John Wick Chapter 4. And like I said, I really hope they examine more of that. And then end of the month, March 31st, Dungeons and Dragon, Honor Among Thieves. That, I'm so torn. I'm so torn with that because there's the whole Wizard of the Coast controversy that we actually discussed a few episodes back. And with Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro, the just all the foolishness that's taking place with that and the open source licensing and all that sort of thing. They are basically demanding that anything that has Dungeons and Dragons attached to it now belongs to them and exclusively them. And they don't want any of the side content that's available to be out there. And so it's kind of crazy. Let's see. You know what? There were some people that I had spoken to earlier in the week, and I was going to see if I could get any of them on. So I'll do that in a moment. But yeah, that's Dungeons and Dragons. So I really want to go see this movie. It has Chris Pine. It has Michelle Rodriguez. God, I would watch anything she's in. But honestly, just from the trailer, it looks like a good D&D movie. Like it looks like it's going to be a good movie, and I want to go see it. But I don't want to support what they are doing with Dungeons and Dragons because it doesn't feel like it is serving the community. It doesn't feel like it's like really pushing the D&D community in the right direction. Sorry, some random person threw a comment up here, but this is clearly a bot, so we're not gonna post that comment. But I'll keep that. Maybe they can help with something. I don't know. But it's like I want to try to support Dungeons and Dragons the right way, and I feel like going to see the movie is putting money in the wrong hands. But as we've discussed many times here before, sometimes when you try to separate the art from the artist situation, you know what I'm saying, it can be kind of sticky because you want to do the right thing, but at the same time, you have to be mindful of who all that affects, because I want to support Michelle Rodriguez, Chris Pine, the other actors and actresses in this movie. But in doing so, I am now supporting Wizard of the Coast. And if I support them based on the last change they have with the terms and conditions and whatnot, you know what I'm saying, like their licensing agreements, then I'm supporting the villain technically. And it's like, I don't want to support the villain, but I want to go see the movie. So do I wait for it to come to streaming? March might be a little busy. I may not have time. It might be okay. May not be anything I even have to worry about. Who knows? But that is March, and March is shaping up to be a pretty entertaining month. It's like we're going to have a lot of stuff. And then, of course, on top of that, you got St. Patrick's Day and International Women's Day. So I want to say happy International Women's Day to all the women. So take all of the female geeks in your life, all of the non-geeks in your life, all of the women in your life, and anyone who identifies as a woman, etc. And, we want to wish them a happy International Women's Day. Happy Women's Day to those individuals. And it's crazy because I say that and immediately realize my glass is empty, and I was about to ask my wife if she could assist with that, but that would be very wrong, having just made the comment about International Women's Day. So I guess I'm just going to have to go without drink for now. And that's fine. That's fine. I will go without drink. So what else? What else has been going on? There's got to be some other stuff. I know okay, here we go. Next topic. Plus Ultra. Where's the camera? There it is. Plus Ultra. UA High Hero Academy. Man, I'm not a manga guy. I like reading comic books, but for some reason I have a hard time getting into manga. And I think the reason I have a hard time getting into manga is because I know that anime exists. Does that make sense? And I feel like if the manga is really good, then they should make an anime for it, because it's I won't say a more popular media, but I feel like maybe people have just slightly more access as a result. Come to think of it, I don't even need my headphones on until someone else pops in order to be able to hear them. So I can just take those off and be comfortable. Hey, look at that. And as soon as I say that, I don't have to wear these headphones because no one's here. Boom. Somebody decides to hop in here and join me. Awesome. What's going on, Jeff?
Not much, man. How are you?
I am well. How have you been?
Doing good, man. You said something about not having to wear headphones because nobody's here?
Yeah. And then you hopped in, so I appreciate it. I gladly put my headphones back on. Not a problem. Happy to do that. That was my concern there.
So where were we? What are we talking about?
I ran down a quick schedule of everything that's happening in March, just because there's a lot of cool stuff. And if you have any, let me show that again real quick so you can see the slide. Yeah. You know that. Boom. That's the lineup for March. And of course, discussing The Mandalorian, new season of Mandalorian, season 3. I think today was the second episode. Creed 3 just released. Scream, that is 6, right? Because 5, 6. So yes, Scream 6 comes out March 10th. Mm-hmm. Shazam, Fury of the Gods, March 17th. I did address that is not under the James Gunn production. That movie was already filmed, so James Gunn doesn't technically get credit for that one. I had a little rant about John Wick Chapter 4, John Wick being just an incredible series in my opinion. And perfect timing. I closed out with Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves, March 31st. And I talked about how I was a little vexed because so I want to go see this movie. It looks very, very good, and I'm very excited to go see this movie. But with the whole Wizard of the Coast debacle and everything that's taken place there, I don't want to support the villain in this by going to see the movie. But I'm a huge Michelle Rodriguez
Support D&D.
So just
Support
no matter what,
D&D.
it is still support of D&D. So okay,
Yep.
Okay, because I know there was
20
a
years
question.
from now, they're not going to remember the Wizards of the Coast debacle, OGL, whatever. They're going to remember that this was the first successful D&D movie.
That is
20 years from now, when you're holding a grandkid and you're explaining to them that you sat through Dragon Wars.
Yeah. Yeah.
That you sat through Troll 2. That you sat through this bad movie and that bad movie because they had a dragon or a sorcerer or magic in them. And it wasn't until Lord of the Rings came out that fantasy got its credit.
Well, there was a few
movie
along
should
the way.
hopefully give D&D its credit.
There were a few.
There's been a couple of exceptions.
Like there's the first.
But for as many,
we could probably sit here and make a list of some of the good ones and go over, and we could skip the crap ones. But like I feel like Legend's always going to have a place.
Yep, of course. Legend, Dark Crystal, Neverending Story.
What was the one Sean Connery voiced the dragon? Was it Dragonheart?
Dragonheart, yes, the original
Dragonheart. Yes. What about the one with Matthew Broderick and the lady that turns into the Falcon?
Lady Hawk.
Lady Hawk, thank you.
Okay, that actually had Rutger Hauer and Michelle Pfeiffer in it.
Exactly.
As the love interest, and Matthew Broderick was a squire.
Right. But I mean, he was technically like we kind of went through the movie from his point of view. And so that's what kind of like stands out of my head. Like, yeah, the great Rutger Hauer. How could I not give him his due? But yeah, I mean, like there's been a few, you know what I'm saying? And even some cult classics that are so bad that they're good because Krull.
Krull, yes. I just made Erica watch Troll the other night.
Ooh. How did she like it?
Yeah. She laughed at the wrong times.
Was it a live action? Was it a live episode of Why Did I Watch That?
No. Now, I will say this. Troll 1 still holds up. Now, Troll 2 is definitely falls under the Why Did I Watch That?
Yeah, a little campy on Troll 2. But so, I mean, that's a really good point that you bring up as far as like the support of D&D, because that is one thing that I think doesn't happen frequently enough. People kind of get so caught up in the different aspects of it. Because like I said, that was my biggest concern. It was the OpenGL, you know what I'm saying, the licensing issue, what Hasbro's, you know, their stake in it, and what Wizard of the Coast is doing. And it was just like, man, I don't want to support the villains in this. But at the end of the day, it's still D&D content. And if we don't support the D&D content, then there will be no D&D content. So, yeah, I think you actually make a really good point to say just like support it. Okay, cool. So now I can go see it and not feel bad about it.
I didn't feel bad to begin with. To me, the OGL is over. Hasbro or Wizards of the Coast, whatever, they backpedaled. You got Pathfinder making their own stuff now. You got Matthew Colville and them jumping in, Matthew Mercer and them jumping in. Like, it has energized the right parts of the business or the machine or whatever you want to call that. The movie and the content in the movie doesn't have anything to do with that to me. They're facets of the same stone, but they're two different issues.
It is two different. Well, it's definitely like the flip side of the coin kind of thing, and so it's like it's almost.
I guess the only analogy I can provide is the Harry Potter game versus supporting J.K. Rowling and trans and all that stuff. Yeah,
I don't know, man.
But
hey, true.
It's Harry Potter. Harry Potter has a life of its own at this point.
It does. I think it is definitely in a transcendent state. You're no longer just tied to J.K. Rowling. She's a
Right.
creator.
Just because I buy Hogwarts Legacy for PS4 the day it comes out does not mean I support J.K. Rowling's views on trans people.
No.
It means I want a game with magic and wands and this, and you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And hey, True, I sent you a link. Go to your messenger, pull up that link, and if you want to hop in, go ahead and hop in. We'll shout you out, talk you up a little bit. That's my cousin. True story. She is blowing up all over TikTok. She goes live frequently, and she's able to hype up her TikTok, and she's given us a ton of shout outs on her lives, and I thank her for that. So we want to make sure to show that love and reciprocate that love back. Let me see if I can grab this real quick. Search True.
One thing that we did remark while you're doing all that is that in the movie Troll, the main character's brother, or the little girl, gets turned into a troll, and that's what this whole thing is about. But the older brother and the dad are named Harry Potter Sr. and Harry Potter Jr.
Really?
This is years before anything J.K. Rowling, anything.
It just happened to be the name Harry Potter. How about that?
Yep. So one of those you didn't realize it at the time, but you rewatch it 20 years later and you're like, huh, never saw that before, or didn't think of that.
How about that?
Because it's been, Troll was the very first VHS movie my grandma rented for me back when I was a kid. So it's one of those, it's been one I've seen here and there throughout the years, but it has been a while since I sat down and watched the movie, which of course I did with her.
Hey, what's going on, Tip? Post a link to your store. Go ahead. First VHS, and Grandma was renting that for you. So, man, I'm trying to think. Was there anybody?
Troll. What is the first movie you ever remember watching? For me, it's E.T. I remember standing in the line at the movie theater in the sun, holding my mom's hand, going in, watching, getting popcorn, watching E.T. The movie at home for me is Troll.
Yeah, that was actually an excellent point you make there with the Harry Potter bit. That comes from that's the fam right there. What's up, Cuzzo? Well, I'm getting some love tonight. They all hopping in. Let me post the link if any of you want to like hop in and join this conversation, be a part of this. I'm gonna post the links for you. Just click the link, and that'll take you to the green room, and then you can hop on in when you're ready. But let's see, the first movie. Man, what was the first that I remember? My memory is garbage at this point. You know what's funny? My memory is actually really, really good, but only for very specific things. So I'm having to like try to will out the Rolodex, dust it off a little bit, and be like, okay, first movie.
I remember Dragon Slayer.
Like some of the oldest movies that I remember in the theater, Ice Pirates, Buckaroo Banzai.
Oh wow! And see, neither one of those I saw in the theater, but I have Ice Pirates on DVD to this day. I will not get rid of it ever.
I remember going to see Ice Pirates with my brother. Yo, got someone in the green room. Bring it in. Now, you guys are going to love this because everybody knows me. I'm Sam Morgan, but let me introduce you to Sam Morgan.
Well, as you can see, I've cleverly put a Samuel.
Your
B.
audio cut out.
Yes,
Like you can't. It's not. You're not even allowed to say it.
Right, it's Samuel. B. Oh, look at that! We got the turtles. I love it.
Yeah. I had to get in front of my little grown ass geek set.
There you go. See, mine is
brothers.
Mine is
So
expanding.
that was so interesting about Harry Potter because is that now part of the Potterverse? Is that a thing now? Like,
Well,
I know.
well, see, here's the thing.
I think
So
I
Hogwarts
want
Legacy.
one. So
Go ahead.
who, me?
No, I thought Jeff was responding. Okay, so Hogwarts Legacy, the game itself, the story of the game actually it is set in the same realm because you are at the school Hogwarts. You are going to the same school that Potter went to, and you have, essentially the same types of enemies.
I'm not where the Trolls is the Trolls movie now.
Oh,
a part of the canon of the Potterverse.
You know what?
Because the parents were, so perhaps that's
like his great.
We're like, as your kids are turning into trolls, you need a wizard.
You know what? You know what?
That's a good point.
We could actually make that canon. We could sit here and put our brains together. We could make that canon. That actually makes a lot of sense.
It's a prequel. I didn't come up with that.
And
what's your name, brother? I'm sorry. That's my guy with the Avengers right there.
Yeah, that's Jeff. Okay, you know what?
Jeff. Yeah, Jeff just put Trolls into the Harry Potter canon. So there's 11 movies.
There you go. And that actually makes a lot of sense now because that could be like a long distant cousin. I mean, as we see, cousins could have very similar names. So
well, maybe that's why Dobby.
Harry Potter and Harry Potter.
Like Dobby, he's pretty much a troll, right? Maybe that was a long distance cousin. Maybe that was the brother that got turned into the troll.
Tiny little guy. I mean, it can definitely. There are ways that it could work. It could work.
Okay, I'm grown geeking. He's thinking about it. Like,
that works though. But no, that actually works. That works perfectly.
My thing when I was watching it was, has she seen this movie? Did she see this movie as a kid? And then when she was sitting there writing the book, trying to come up with a name, I'll use Harry Potter.
It's very possible. And so the first movie I remember watching, like really watching.
Okay, Tip, come through, Tip. I see you.
Was The Princess Bride.
Ooh, such a classic.
Amen.
Such a classic.
That goes down as the movie I've seen the most.
Probably. And The Last Dragon.
That is definitely the movie I have seen the most.
Oh,
I can.
The Last Dragon. The first time we saw Saiyans.
Sure enough.
The first time we saw Saiyans. That was the first time I ever saw anybody power up. In the middle of the fight, he takes a moment and he's like, okay.
When you got that glow,
then he powered up. I had never seen it. And then it was like he was invincible for a minute. So that was the first action. You know what?
But he had to learn to harness the glow. It was a journey. There was so much falsehood. And I remember going to see Batman with you in Georgia. That was our Georgia trip.
Yeah, that was a big deal then too, because that's still like without a doubt one of my favorite cinematic experiences. Because back in the day, like, you know what I'm saying, when we were first talking about, hey, what's going on, Russell? That's Mr. Parkway, the author. I think his book did you just do the release? Talk to us if you just did that release. But you know, like growing up, there was so few. Like, of course, you had the Superman movies. You had a couple of those. And when did the first Punisher come out? Dolph Lundgren. That was like, I feel like that was like mid 80s or something like that. There wasn't anything really good. And of course, prior to
the Hulk series.
All right,
but the Spider-Mans were all wonky. We had cartoons. We never really got one that was scared for us. Like, I really believe even Superman movies were too adult for me at times. Like, I think there was a cocained out Richard Pryor.
Yeah, he was definitely a little like, you know, Richard Pryor on the set for that one. And, you know, but even then it's like you could see the little things like when the lady jumps into the pool to take the kryptonite necklace off of Superman, who's kind of like stuck in the water. She swims over to him. Shawty had on a white dress and jumped in the pool.
Yeah.
I remember that scene very well, you know. And it was like, that was one of those things. And prior to Batman 89, all we had was like the cartoons, the animated series of this, that, and the other, Super Friends, that sort of thing. The Incredible Hulk, like a bad Avengers movie. Not even a bad Avengers movie, a bad Captain America movie.
Yeah, that was that was bad.
And like
I remember the sound of the shield.
Like it was horrible. Yeah. But Adam West as Batman. And nobody really looked at that's honestly what kept comic books. That's why people still thought they were kiddie for so long, and they couldn't really take off the way you wanted them to or expected them to.
Right.
Then Tim Burton comes in, brings us Batman in '89,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden people were like, "Yo, this is a real movie."
And it was an origin story as well, so it kind of gave you origin story with adult themes, you know.
See, yeah, hop on up, talk to us. So we may have someone else join us here in a minute, but yeah, I mean, like having that origin story, having that backstory.
Question B for you of this is: there's obviously memorable movies. What is your least favorite movie that you went to the theater to see? That you felt like, what was the first
Pet
movie
Sematary,
you remember being like,
down.
I could
Pet
just watch that at home?
Yeah,
Mine-
Pet Sematary.
mine was
Wouldn't
Dragon
even watch it
Wars.
at home.
Dragon Wars. Man, that I could have watched that at home.
Waited all summer for that movie to come out. Was there opening in line. Paid to see it. Got in there. Watched it and walked out with Kenneth and Kenny and all them and was like, what did you just pay for? Like, why? Like, that was horrible. Like, Last Airbender, of course, goes down as a famous one, but that's probably
actually, you know what? Now that you say that, yeah, no. Mine would have to be Dragon Ball Evolution, without a doubt, because at the time,
you literally walked out of the theater and wanted to get sick.
It was just like Chow Yun Fat was like really big at that time. You know what I'm saying? So having him in the movie, of course, John Woo was blowing up. I was all into my Asian cinema. I was doing, going online, and it was during the time of like Napster and LimeWire and computer aids and that sort of thing. So it was like I was getting every movie I could and getting all of the cinema from the East and just indulging and just fixated on it. And then all of a sudden, we get this thing, and I'm like, wait, what? What is this? What? And I'm looking at this Dragon Ball Z movie, and it's like, that's not right. That's not what it is. And it was like, I think Dragon Ball Evolution came before Avatar. So I think I was already jaded by the time Avatar came out, that, believe it or not, I never actually saw Avatar in theaters. So I was able to escape that one.
I refused to.
I
actually
know
someone, a female, that was like, "Oh, I love that Last Airbender movie," and that right there, my interest in her dropped. I was like, "Yeah."
You got to protect yourself, King. You got to protect yourself. You can't go down like that. Yeah, I mean, I would say so. You had Dragon Ball Evolution was 2009, and Avatar: The Last Airbender.
How about Batman and Robin?
While it was campy,
yeah, no, that was
a waste of a theater trip. That was definitely a waste.
I still watched it 12. But I still watched it 12 times though.
But you could have did that at home.
It was all we had.
You absolutely could.
Like, one of the...
But you had Don the Dragon Wilson in that, man.
Oh,
I hadn't seen him in forever. I was so stoked to see him.
Y'all said Chris O'Donnell is Robin. Holy terrible acting, Batman.
And you know what? You are correct. I'm not putting Batman and Robin.
Holy
Give
campy.
me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back.
It's campy.
It is
and
campy.
I think they did too much with trying to overload on villains. Like they were like, how many villains do? Let's just get it all out here.
And you know what? Honestly, that's kind of what it was. But it was Joel Schumacher, and he was trying to reinvigorate the franchise, because after we had the Val Kilmer story, you know what I'm saying? It was like, what's happening here? Because honestly, Val Kilmer's movie tried to be like way too meta. You know what I'm saying? Like they were really trying to make it a thinking movie, but it's like you have Jim Carrey in this movie. Now, if you were gonna take Jim Carrey from like the number 23 Jim Carrey and let him be the Riddler,
he wasn't evolved there yet, though. This was like,
true.
Yeah.
I mean, he was fresh off of his slapstick,
Yeah, the living color Carrey. Yeah,
he was still that, and I mean, it was prime Carrey to me, and that's one of the things that, like, between Jim Carrey, honestly, when you take Jim Carrey and
Danny DeVito
in the second one was a big draw, but I would have to say having Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones.
Exactly.
That's really what carried the third film. When you get around to the fourth film, now you have the star power of Arnold Schwarzenegger. You have Uma Thurman coming in. I mean, look, you could put Arnold Schwarzenegger in a big budget movie right now, and people are still going to go out and see the new Arnold Schwarzenegger film.
But give me one villainous origin story. You've given me the hero's origin story.
True.
Now give me the one villain. They kept giving you multiple villains and villains and villains.
Yeah, and it was just like, let's throw a bunch of stuff out there and just wow you, oohs and ahs. And that was really the downside. You know what I'm saying? That was where they failed, and they could have done so much more. Because even if we ended up eventually getting the origin story of Bane. Finally, finally get the origin story of Bane.
The Poison Ivy story was more interesting, though, than the Mr. Freeze story.
Absolutely, because they did not do Mr. Freeze
justice. Uma Thurman definitely made a better Poison Ivy than Arnold
more
did.
Interesting in the actual realm, and that was disappointing.
But Arnold failed it. He tanked it.
Well, and honestly, I don't even think he tanked it because he did what was in the script.
They said, don't be Mr. Freeze, be Arnold as Mr. Freeze.
I think Arnold was too big of an actor by that point to fill those shoes to where we could see Dr. Freeze and not
Arnold Schwarzenegger, right.
Because all of us Arnold, we saw Arnold in blue makeup, not Dr. Freeze.
And to your point, we saw Mr. Freeze, the villain, instead of the hurt guy who's trying to save his wife.
Right. We didn't see Victor Von Freeze. That's really what we needed.
Right.
And
they should have gotten the guy from Oz, my boy who was in SVU all the time. He would have been perfect.
Maloney, Chris Maloney.
Him or the other guy, the silver-haired guy.
That's the one.
Beecher, not Beecher,
guys.
Not Beecher, the other guy.
I mean, I hate to be this way, but we have to be honest. Just about anybody that was bald would have fit the bill.
Tim Malkovich, like a little Malkovich.
You know what? John Malkovich, I could
John
see.
Malkovich, he could
John
have been
John Malkovich.
He even has a bit of the accent that he does anyway.
I think having John Malkovich talk about Batman and Robin would have been quite entertaining.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, at this point, I kind of feel like
his wife's only wish was to and
right.
cold heart.
Yeah.
And so my heart has now turned cold without the Arnold. Yeah. John Malkovich.
You know what? John Malkovich actually might be really good casting for that.
Recast. Listen, let's recast.
No. We have a whole show called Fancasted. I may have to put that one down. We have a show called
John Malkovich is Victor Von Freeze. And then you know what? Give him an old school Hulk and let Arnold still play Mr. Freeze in the uniform.
Actually, let Arnold come back and be an old Bane.
No, let him play the mayor. Let him play Commissioner Gordon.
Actually, you know what? There's a really good storyline on the Telltale Batman game that does involve some of the. It kind of follows the Court of Owls, the old Waynes, stuff like that. And if you incorporate some of those gangsters, you could bring in an Arnold Schwarzenegger to play like a mayor who's
corrupted. Yeah, big fan.
Like he was a gangster, but now he's gone legit and he's the mayor, but secretly he's still corrupted. There's a lot of different ways we could do that. I mean, eventually I'm gonna get to the point where I'm gonna have to start writing up movie treatments because that's all we do on this show is just make movies.
And you know what? Like, not for nothing, but now fan things get picked up. Thanks to Cobra Kai. Bel Air. Like all you gotta do is do a really imagined in-depth thought of how it should look. What if, right?
Marvel. That would definitely be the way to go with that. Russell made a comment a moment ago, and it's the one here on the screen. Wonder Woman 1984 made the same mistake as Batman Returns, creating villains the audience will feel sorry for. I don't know that I felt sorry for any of the villains. I don't think Pedro Pascal's villain who he was playing in the movie. Kristen Wiig.
No.
I feel like they
I
wasted
do.
Kristen
I can
Wiig.
see that because he just wanted to be liked.
True. But I mean, he was also like extremely wealthy and famous. And so it's like, bro, buy friends like TBS. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. WCW. Let's go.
Like, you ain't got you trying to take over the whole planet? No. I mean, if he was manipulated into it and didn't knowingly be a part of the evil scheme, that's fine. But no, he went along with it, and I can't.
Well,
condone it.
megalomania. So he never got treatment for his megalomania.
This is true.
He was neglected. He should have gotten an IEP when he was very young.
No, he should have got a nice swift smack.
Right.
So that would have taken care of a lot of those issues.
Been over there. Don't say nothing, boy.
Right. And it's funny because it's like Pedro Pascal has had some very interesting characters that he's played. And, if you kind of look at the only character that I have yet to like really examine is the enormous weight of something, the one he did with Nick Cage. I actually want to see that movie a lot. Because it's got Pedro Pascal, it's got Nicolas Cage as himself.
Doesn't every movie have Nicolas Cage?
It feels like it sometimes. It does feel like it sometimes. See, and that was
He's
the thing.
The best, worst actor we have.
You know what? It's crazy because
Or he's the worst, best actor we
Bradley
have.
Cooper. Philly boy. Bradley Cooper.
You know what? My biggest thing though is since they used
I like
Maxwell
him though.
Lord.
He was good in Limitless. He was good in 18. He was good in a couple of Hangover.
Yeah, I really
Nick
like him in
Cage.
Limitless.
He's been.
Nick Cage is hit or miss.
He said he
Nick Cage
doesn't
has
want to
always
be in the
been
MCU, but
in
isn't
the
he
same
already
movie.
Ghost Rider? Isn't he already Ghost Rider?
He is Ghost Rider, but technically Ghost Rider is not part of the MCU. Ergo, he's not in the MCU. It is a Marvel movie. I think it's like Marvel
was in a
Studios.
movie.
It's a Marvel character.
Right. Well, but see, no, there are people.
Yeah, but
who
I'd
would
say
absolutely
I'd say
argue
the
difference.
Ghost Rider from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is closer to being in the MCU than Nick Cage is.
True. Well, I mean, you have the connection of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Coulson, that existing in the same universe, whereas the one Ghost Rider is completely separate.
Ghost Rider is in the Blade universe.
I mean, technically, it would exist. So,
like the Morpheus and all that. Is that where they are?
Well, no. Technically, they are all still in the. It would be a different timeline. That would be the best way to explain it using Marvel logic.
Not in
it
the
would be a different
movies
timeline
per se, but they are part of Marvel.
Right. Now, at one point, remember, you have Marvel Studios, then you have like Marvel Productions.
Right.
So the MCU is under Marvel Studios, which technically is separate than Marvel Studios. So it's like if you have like DC Animation versus DC Film. Clearly, they are two separate groups because
right, you can do whatever with the animation
like
in the film. You got to have Richard Pryor skiing down a building.
Yeah. Right. Now, this comment here, Pedro Pascal's character did not go far enough. He expected Wonder Woman to face off against the God of Lies. My biggest issue was since they used Maxwell Lord, they were using the character, and I'm glad, like, if they were going to try to bring it back at some point later, of course, big spoiler for the comics, Wonder Woman kills Maxwell Lord, like snaps his neck. And Maxwell Lord is like able to mind control all these different people, so it kind of had to be done. And, Wonder Woman gave no fucks about it because that's what she does. She takes care of it. And so I was thinking that maybe we would get like some realness in the movie. We don't remember this PG-13 and it's Wonder Woman. And of course, we're not going to kill Maxwell Lord in the movie. Gal Gadot is like, I just want everybody, we're going to win with the power of fucking friendship. You know what I'm saying? Just love everybody. It's going to be okay.
It was very Care Bears. It was very Care Bears.
Right. Like, just like, oh my God. So, but that was Wonder Woman 84. Everybody already feels some kind of way about that. We'll fix that part. Ooh, there's a good one. That is a really good one. Willow, 1988. So I love Willow. I love Mad Mardigan. And I am so looking forward to watching the new Willow movie. It's already been released, and shame on me. I should have watched it by now.
The series,
But yeah. And so
It's
I
okay.
want to. Is it just okay? Oh man, that's disappointing. I wanted you to say it was like great.
No. I've only watched like two. I've only watched 2 episodes so far. It's okay, but I do miss Mad Mardigan, which we all know why Val Kilmer is missing.
Yeah. Val Kilmer
Exactly
is not
why.
physically.
Same thing with Top Gun Maverick. He's just not able to do it anymore. So
yeah, from what I understand, though, his
That's
cameo is
2 Val
really
Kilmer
good.
references in one episode within 10 minutes. Probably it's got to be a.
That is. I mean, now honestly, we could do that. You could probably do like everybody does 7 degrees of separation with Kevin Bacon, but I mean, you can do that with like Val Kilmer. You could definitely do it with Nick Cage. There's a lot of actors that you could actually accomplish that with. But yeah. Val Kilmer's. I mean, he was a staple in the 80s and early 90s. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like, so you got to give the man his due.
He was in Lucas as one
Real
of the
Genius was
arbitrary
actually
football
my favorite
players.
movie from him.
Yeah,
Right. You know what? When I was younger, I used to get Real Genius and Zapped confused. And it wasn't until I was a little older that I was able to clearly distinguish the 2 movies. And Zapped had like the little dart guns and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was really
Zapped
weird.
was Porky's with magic.
Right. It was like a really weird kind of 80s wet dream thing that was happening.
So was
like,
Revenge of the Nerds.
All
That
right.
was the 3rd one. Revenge
So
of the
here's
Nerds.
here's a good question for you then. We talk about best movie that we saw in the theater, or first movie, or worst movie. What's the first movie you remember seeing something inappropriate, aka boobs, or a sexual scene, or
Purple
what
Rain
was the first,
by
like
Prince.
Revenge of
Purple Rain.
Purple Rain.
Purple
It was
Rain.
Purple Rain. I remember like they
With
like,
Hulk?
when that leg's up, goes up. When her leg goes up, Apollonia's leg goes up. Cover your eyes.
Actually, when it was first discussed that she had to purify herself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
Oh, I was like this.
Actually, you know what?
I was
Wait a
like
minute.
this, trying to
When
cover
did this
my
movie
eyes.
come out?
I'm not watching, Mom. I promise.
I'm not-
I don't see a thing.
I heard that
Actually,
word
come to
was
think
like,
of it,
listen.
so
I
there's
might
a movie in
scrape my neck.
1986. Tracy Camilla John. Okay. So don't ask me why. It was actually, there was alumni thing. I went to go see a movie called She's Gotta Have It.
That's that's a Spike Lee film. Your father went to Morehouse. That's
Right.
Why. He's like, oh, this is a black film. Son.
I went,
It's
and
art.
look,
It's
and
art.
because of course, like he will never let us forget that he actually was classmates with Spike Lee.
No, for sure.
And
Oh, yeah. The
and
house.
this was like Spike Lee's first movie, 1986. She's Gotta Have It. And
movie
we
as
went
a
to the
adult.
theater as a family to go support this movie. And I don't think anyone was prepared for what we went to go see. Because I know I had to like watch that movie again when I was older because I saw half of it through a hand and had no context for what was happening.
A forearm.
Right. Like just, I felt like I needed to be taken out of the theater.
And hip hop.
And so, yeah. That would probably be, let's see, that was 1986. When did Purple Rain come out? I feel like Purple Rain was the same year.
That was like 84, 83, 84. Because I remember
83, 84.
84, yeah.
84.
So, okay, so yeah, then Purple Rain still has that one.
So
Being in the theater.
Yeah, 84. That was the first. But then Clan of the Cave Bear.
Yeah. There's one
My
scene.
dad must have put your dad onto that.
There is a scene from that movie that is very, very interesting, very awkward. And it was like, huh. What? So it doesn't hurt now? Oh,
I got one for you.
She's a tough woman. So yeah, that was
They had a symbol to have intercourse. The men would just walk up to the women and be like, "Hey, la," and just lock their hands together. That man, get it in. It was.
Yeah.
And my dad be like, "All right, cover your eyes." Like, why am I even watching this, bro? Like, I've seen like 10 minutes. And the Blue Lagoon. That's another classic.
You know, the Blue Lagoon was still artsy.
Blue Lagoon, I remember the nudity, but it was more artistic.
No,
Right.
It wasn't
that was
like gratuitous
with Brooke
nudity.
Shields.
Now, let me say that like 7-year-old me watching the Blue Lagoon just saw boobs.
It was porn.
Right.
That was hardcore.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It was just like that was me. But other than that, yeah, I think I remember seeing the movie Porky's. It wasn't in a theater, but I know that I remember, like, I think it was like probably a late night Showtime or late night Cinemax kind of thing. You know how kids do. We're gonna stay up and you know, or better yet, it was probably like the parents were gone, the babysitter wasn't paying attention, and we had the remote. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, oh, we're just gonna leave it on that. We're in the other room, but you peek around the corner.
I watched Revenge of the Nerds 1 and 2 on HBO channel 20 on the box with the small remote.
Yeah.
And that joint used to come on like every night about 11, every Thursday. I know every part. Like, we've got pie. I remember all of that. Yeah, Revenge of the Nerds for me was like, I can't wait to get to college.
I'm sure enrollment went up.
My movies. Yeah, and then some. So, National Lampoon's European Vacation with the girl in the telephone booth. I was at my grandma's for the summer. It came on late at night. I stayed up. I watched it. Yeah, and then the other one that I saw a lot of was Beastmaster.
Poor Rusty,
where she goes diving in the pool and Beastmaster. And then when I realized that the Beastmaster girl that I remember having fantasies about when I was younger was what's her name's mom on the 70s show, I flipped out.
What?
The redhead girl on 7. Yeah,
Eric
that's
Foreman's
her mom.
mom was a hot girl. In
No,
the 80s?
no. His girlfriend.
Donna's
mom. Donna's mom.
Oh yeah,
Donna's mom. Yes, Donna. Donna's mom was the girl from Beastmaster that died.
Yeah, that's
same actress.
Tanya Roberts.
She's passed away, unfortunately. R.I.P. But
yeah, Tanya Roberts.
That was my first repeated viewing. I would rent Beastmaster, watch Beastmaster, catch it on Cinemax.
Grandma, Beastmaster again.
Jeff, why do you like this movie so much? Shut up, leave me alone. Close the door.
Come here. Not right now. I can't come right now. I'll be there in a minute.
So what do you want to rent this week? Beastmaster. You've seen it 11 times.
But you know what was crazy to me? Whenever I would watch Beastmaster, actually, the James Bond movies. All of the James Bond movies, I really wish that
guaranteed boobs. Yeah, James Bond is guaranteeing you boobs every film.
And it was like even though there was really no nudity, there was still like enough
innuendo.
Right. Like that was they were so good at the implication, making sure you knew what was going on.
Oh, you knew what was going down. They woke up under furs in the snow in an igloo and just jumped on a jet ski.
Absolutely, that's what made me think of that. When we were talking about Tanya Roberts, it made me think of James Bond of View to a Kill. You were absolutely that's what I'm talking about. Somebody else saw the connection.
Well, we might as well just have hot toddies and cool sex. Sean,
you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
that was.
And you always knew, you knew what it was. You knew how it was going to go down. You knew everything that was. Oh, we got a special guest here.
Hi, cousin.
We got the wife. That's see. Yep. Hold on, let me see.
Looking all young and sprightly. Happy International Women's Day.
You can hear what they're saying.
Happy International Women's Day to you.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you for what you do.
So long.
Good to see you, cousin.
Okay, I just want to say how I was bringing him his chest. I try to, but y'all try to keep him in line because this was what's happening. So y'all keep him in line. I'll have fun.
We're good. Hey, we're just going in.
So that further proof for everybody who may have watched Big Bang Theory, you saw that Leonard got Penny and I have Celeste. So geeks can actually, like it happens. It works. Like you can be a geek and still like have somebody. It's like, hey, there we go. This is what
I'm a
talking
geek.
about.
I'm just a cool geek. Like
Absolutely.
I'm like
No.
I'm
In general, the geeks are cool. So we have another special guest tonight. This has actually turned out to be a really, really good show. We're going to bring on my cousin True, bringing Story in. What's going on, girl? She is currently blowing up
guys?
all over TikTok and doing her thing on social media. So we have I'm trying to beat her to the celebrity status in the family. Right now she's winning.
I'm trying to get there.
Well, it's on the other side. It's well behind because the co-champs got it knocked out. So Sam here, he is actually a well-known Philly artist, and I've gotten some music from him, and now that I've learned how to do some different things, I'm about to start bringing some of those songs. So we're gonna have some new intro music real soon. I've got the files, they're downloaded.
I do custom cuts too as well. I do custom like for you.
So we need like a really good 45-second intro.
I got you. Well, I'll let you A&R the whole thing and make sure it's right. I'll get me a nice geeky Nintendo Mario Brothers beat, and we on. Let's go.
Let's do it. So, Story, talk to me. You've been doing these lives the last couple of days.
Why am I getting golden pause music vibes?
Ooh. Yes, put the notes out there. We'll definitely hype that up. I've got her TikTok right here. Let me just boom, boom, boom. We're gonna show that off real quick so that everybody can see. She is right there. Boom. That is her True Story. So follow her. Yep, that's you. That's her page. She's got 105,000 likes. 2,895 followers, and if you're not following her, be sure to do that. She's continuing to blow up, and I'm so very proud of you.
They keep going up every day. I get like 50 to 60 requests every day.
See,
when I battle,
and that's what you got to do. So keep it going. So yeah, I thank you for hopping on the show tonight, and I want to say also thank you for all the shout outs you've given me. Despite my finger tapping and my tired arms. But every time you're live and I see you, I try to hop in and at least get you, they've actually changed that where now it's given a little counter. I can see how many likes I've given you. So I was like, okay, once I do 1,000 likes, I've contributed. I feel like I've done my bit.
Yes, you really have. It push you out there, but other people can view you. So I really appreciate that.
And that's what I'm trying to do, trying to get out there. So of course, like I was already kind of looking and following some of your lives. And it's kind of funny because there's one in particular that I want to show. Let me kill the audio on that because I'm not going to play the audio for it. But this one is actually kind of cool because just to show you how small the world is. So right here, this is the 85 South podcast.
Yes.
And
I love those guys.
You got up there, you got to do a show with the 85
That's
South podcast.
That's major. Salute. That's major.
Yeah.
Now,
they know it all over. That's worldwide.
Yeah. Now, what's really cool about that is it just so happened that all of their merchandise is done by one of my mods.
What?
One of the members of my group, the guy who's usually one of the guys who's on the show often, Jeffrey Taylor. He is the person that created and designed all of their merchandise.
What?
So that's actually one of the reasons he's not on the show tonight is because he's actually out filming and doing some stuff with them now. But yeah, I'm gonna just say I wanted to pop your hand on that one because but
that's actually my second time up there with them. They fun. They really funny. I love going. I'm always up front when they come in, and especially to Atlanta. They always, that's where they, grew up.
Do a lot of the filming this way. Yeah. I mean, I bumped into DC Young Fly down at Atlantic Station a couple times because he just hangs out there, and I think that's like really cool that he's just like a regular, approachable person. I would love to meet Carlos Miller, Chico Bean. They seem like really cool guys as well. They're all hilarious. I mean, I know all of them from Wild 'N Out, but it's a great show. They're funny. They're comedians. They, and I clip through the show a lot of times. So I check out the 85 South show. But so a lot of your characters that you have, a lot of the content that you have uploaded the struggles of the parenthood. You know what I'm saying? And you're always showing the kids, and I love that part because it's still, even though it's adult content, it's still a lot of family friendly content.
Yeah,
and you definitely keep people on their toes. But it doesn't seem like it has, like, some people get into this thing and they blow up because they have like a character, a skit, a thing that they do. And what I love about your content for you specifically is that it is kind of all over the place. That it is. It's just life. It's just you.
Yeah.
And I think that's very impressive to do the kind of numbers you're doing, just being you. That just lets people know what an interesting individual you must be to be able to like be out there and be interesting and entertaining by just existing, not having to have a specific theme or a particular thing that you talk about, but just to exist. And so I laugh every time. It's always funny, whether it be the kids, just like there's one right here.
I'm all over the place.
The home training.
This is my life, all over the place. So that's why I'm just all over the place when I'm on TikTok. So you just never know where I'm gonna hit you from.
Y'all just gave me that real inspiration, and that's why my album Testimonial is so real, because by being true, just by being you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I actually say that like you can be successful without them hand-to-hand sales by being true, just by being you. Like,
that's it.
Thank you, y'all. Y'all just fill my heart with all that joy and power. Like, that's powerful.
Yeah,
that's a powerful thing that the sister's doing, and that you recognize. Like, to be recognized that you're just doing you, and you know what I mean? Not necessarily unapologetically or don't give a fuck, because that's negative. I'm being me positively and showing you that there's a way to do this by being me. I ain't gotta drink lean or get tats on my face to be a rapper.
No.
You know what I'm saying? I don't gotta I don't gotta be a cheating dude to get women, or I don't gotta be, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whatever it is.
That was my wife of 24 years. So.
Facts, like, only real. That's real. I appreciate that, and that's great acknowledgement, cousin. Yeah, I'm tuned in. I'm tapped in. I'm about to see this.
Yeah, because I mean, it's a lot of people that I follow, and I like a lot of the comedy stuff that's out there. And there's certain characters that people play and portray, and you kind of follow because they have this skit, that skit. They have a hook, a thing that they do, or you look for that thing. New video. There's one guy
in corporate, and I've paid these people to be that character to promote this business.
Right. And it's like there's one guy I've seen a bunch of his videos. I don't follow him directly, but it's like everything he does is it goes to the tune of dun 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 dun. And he's doing like the little like.
But you're the guy that's doing the list of the top 5 worst, or you're the top. Like, you're not being yourself. You're jumping on a wave, as opposed to just being like, "Yo, this is me. This is what I do. I be bidding. Like, this is me. This is what I do. I be rapping. This is me. This is what I do. I be grinding. This is me. What I do. I do hair. Like, that authenticity is always separate from when it's like character, and then you become a caricature.
Yeah.
Right.
I tried that. That wasn't my thing. I couldn't do the character things. I'm like you said, I'm just all over the place. So that's why I'm just all over the place. But I was listening to y'all, and y'all was talking about movies. The first movie that I remember going to the movies and seeing back in the day was Willow.
Yeah. Willow was, and Willow's a great movie. Definitely fantastic. Definitely fantastic. One of the better ones that's out there.
That's 5-star. And I didn't chime in, but that one was something that as a family, I remember like enjoying it and not having to be hard, not having to be,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you could just be, again, like what we're talking about, a story, like you could just be and be like, wow, I can find myself in this person or this character or this realm, this world.
Yeah. Yeah, in the magical world. I mean, it just took me, and so I love Lord of the Rings and all this stuff. Like I watched all 3 hours of each movie. Like
Okay, see, we'll get you there.
paying
We'll get you.
attention, you know.
We'll get you to the extended 3.75 hour cut. You know, we'll get you there. But good job on the 3 hours, because that's no joke. You know what I'm saying? Like sitting through, and it's funny because
even I got to take a break during it though. You got to have an intermission with a 4-hour movie.
This is absolutely.
I need a snowstorm. I need to know that I can't leave my crib to sit there and watch the whole joint.
Yeah, I mean, I can do it. It's not something that, like, if I'm gonna try to do. Usually, what happens is like, usually around my birthday, I have a bunch of days off, and I would normally do like a Star Wars marathon, because now they got like so many movies. But it's like we'll go through all those movies. It'll be like all the Star Wars. I do all the Lord of the Rings, because anything that has like a series. And so at one point we had 6 Star Wars movies. Now we got 9 Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
And then if you start incorporating the side movies like Solo, Rogue One, stuff like that, you know, you have.
So you just save up all your vacation time for your birthday, huh?
Well, it's not that I keep in mind my birthday is usually right around Thanksgiving, so I have that week, and I usually like it's going to be either before Thanksgiving or right
you
after
add on, just add on to the already given days.
I just take that whole week, so
might as well
keep it simple. I'm gonna have Thanksgiving off. Don't have to use up vacation days for that, so I can save a day, move it to that Monday. Now I get an extra day. You know, it's pretty cool to do it that way. But that's usually when you're going to catch me doing like the long marathons. And much like you said, I am kind of like stuck. I'm stuck at the house. And so that's what I'm going to get to. And that's when I'll go and watch all that stuff. But there's people that like, so Willow, Lord of the Rings, fantasy. Have you done the Harry Potters? Did you like the Harry Potter movies?
Man, what?
Okay. Now, what about the superhero movies? Do you like the MCU or the DCU? Do you do any of the Marvel movies?
I like watching Batman. I like my favorite Batman is one with oh my God, the Penguin. That was the Danny DeVito.
Just say no, story. Just
Danny
say
DeVito.
No. Just say no.
Yeah, Danny DeVito as the Penguin. And that was Batman Returns. That was
woman, yeah, Catwoman in that. Whew.
Yeah, Michelle Pfeiffer, she definitely raised the bar for a Catwoman.
Yeah.
And as much as I want to give Zoe Kravitz,
Holly, don't say nothing about Holly.
No,
I was gonna say they fumbled Holly Berry. Y'all start talking about Catwoman. Here we go. They fumble Holly. Benjamin Bratt.
Yo, we did a whole bruh.
I'm gonna run it back. Send me that link, man. Because
that basketball scene for Catwoman. Like that was the worst.
It was urban.
That is the worst 5 minutes on film.
Catwoman. She was an alley Catwoman.
Like it is horrible.
Okay, I'm done. That's
horribly cut and clipped together.
That's the alley cat.
That was alley Catwoman.
And you know the funny part? The funny part about that movie?
Catwoman.
That movie actually contains
adopted Catwoman.
Okay. That movie actually contains a lot of scenes that if they were cut together differently, that movie could have been really, really good.
Put it in the fan chat, because that was horribly written.
No. The way the movie is presented is garbage.
The cats licked her face to life. And then she just started chasing it around and wanted to hang with him. She wasn't a jewel. She was not a jewel thief like Michelle Pfeiffer.
No, the very first thing she did was she actually stopped a robbery in progress. And when she stopped the robbery in progress, she realized that they were actually robbing the jewelry store. The worst CGI imaginable. She runs down the pole, she beats up all the bad guys, and then when she wakes up the next morning, of course, she has all of the diamonds and loot and stuff. She ended up robbing the robbers. So she doesn't rob the jewelry store, but
I felt as dumb as she felt in that scene, like watching that movie.
Right.
I was as confused as she was, as the coppers. Hey, copper.
Now,
it's Benjamin Bratt.
Okay, let me clarify my point, because I feel like they should have come for me. So let me be real clear with what I'm saying. I am not saying Catwoman is a good movie. Do not miss my words. Do not mistake that as what I said.
think you're saying it could have. I don't
I'm
think it could have
saying-
been better. I'm saying it couldn't have even
I'm
been
saying,
better.
okay.
It was that
The
bad.
Sharon Stone as a villain who's used so much makeup and product that she doesn't feel anything. That's basically the same villain we got in the first Deadpool movie. He can't feel anything. That's the same villain. That's the same villain. Tombstone, Blockbuster. That trope as a villain has been done before. It just happens that she's had so many cosmetic surgeries and used all this makeup. She can't feel
Don't forget
anything anymore.
Sandman and Spider-Man, where he just absorbs everything. He was the worst, and I hated the boy who played him in that one.
I actually like
That was
Carrey.
a too many villains movie too.
Jim Carrey made a good villain in Batman. I thought so.
Yeah,
We played the
Jim Carrey. I like Jim Carrey more as the weird Edward Nygma,
Yeah.
who was trying to like model himself after. Like, you know what? If you take Jamie Foxx's character from The Amazing Spider-Man,
yeah.
and you take Jim Carrey's character from Batman Returns, same character. But Jim Carrey's character was actually done a little bit better than Jamie Foxx's character was done. Because they had him like with the weird comb over, and he was like, "Oh, Spider-Man, you know my name?" You know what I'm saying? He's like, "Of course I know your name." Hey, buddy, this is like, are we really friends? Of course we're friends. You know what I'm saying? And like they had that whole moment where there could have been like something different there. You know what I'm saying? But
With Edward Nygma, he was always a subordinate of Mr. Wayne, so he always.
see, they've written Edward Nygma a couple of different ways, a couple of different times. In this particular movie, in Batman Forever, that is correct. It was Batman Forever. She was just making mention that Jim Carrey was a good villain, also.
Yeah.
But in Jim Carrey's character, he worked at Wayne Tech, and he was trying to get grant money from Bruce Wayne, and you could tell that he was like a big fan of Bruce Wayne in general, because like when he walked in during the one little gala event and he was like, "Wait, does he have a mole?" And he like tried to hurry up and put the mole on the other side. You know what I'm saying? He had Sugar and Spice. He had the Drew Barrymore and the other girl. I don't remember who the other girl was, but Drew Barrymore is Sugar. Like, I guess she had to be in the movie. That was her chance to cameo. But I really think that Jim Carrey's character, the character he played as Edward Nygma, was amazing. And it had all the nuance. And that was the first time we got a chance to see that, like, okay, he's crazy, he's zany, but this man can actually act.
Yeah.
Like, Jim Carrey can actually act.
He really can.
They were the Two-Face bimbos, but when they were presenting Edward Nygma with the award, and he was at the little ceremony, when they had to try to lure Bruce Wayne in the back to put the little suction cup thing on his head, I clearly remember it was Sugar and Spice that were there with Jim Carrey. And he was dressed up. And I remember because it was Drew Barrymore that was talking, because she was like, you know, Bruce Wayne was Bruce Wayne. And of course, somebody get a chance to like flirt with Bruce Wayne in person. No matter who I'm with, that's billionaire Playboy.
You know
Bruce
what?
Wayne.
That's why I think I didn't like that same kind of plot thing where Mr. Freeze was a scientist at Wayne Tech trying to save his wife, because they had rehashed the same story where it's like, you're just not giving out the bread, like fighting against the billionaire corporate machine.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much, like, it's so funny because if anybody like just takes a look, you can see who my preferred individual is. You know, I'm a Superman fan myself. Not a huge Batman fan, but Batman has more movies, you know. So like it's literally just right here on my desk.
You know what Batman? Everybody knows what Batman's superpower is, right?
Money,
No.
privilege.
I'm like, you don't think he had a super
Knew it. Intelligence. That.
You know, the weird thing is that
But Superman's an alien.
there you go. Like, the main reason I think people like Batman is the same reason they like Superman and they like Iron Man. And this is not a dig at those characters individually, but it's the reality factor. Everybody feels like I could be Batman. Like, I can't be Superman because I'm not from another planet.
Right.
But if I hit the lottery tomorrow,
As long as I just Wakanda forever. As long as I just, you know what I mean, inherit a throne to a fiction.
exactly.
African country and drink the flower. Yeah, I'm good.
Right. Anytime you have a human-based character, there's always the possibility, the potential for reality. Now, is anybody going to go out there and be the next Tony Stark? Well, you got to be an MIT graduate. You got to be a super genius. And you have
they're trying it right now. People are building Iron Man suits every day.
Well, people are trying, like, there's the one guy, the hacksmith. He's on YouTube. I've kind of followed him. There's another kid I follow on YouTube. He does a lot of like creations and stuff, and he takes a lot of inspiration from various movies. He's done the retractable Spider-Man suit. He's done the Captain America shield where it like flies back. He can like throw it, hits wall 3 places, comes back. So I mean, there's definitely, the technology is out there, and there are a lot of really, really capable people that are getting close to making this stuff a reality. But you know, we're supposed to believe that someone like Iron Man is just going to sit in his garage next to all these really expensive cars and do everything by hand himself. And because we see that little scene in the movie, we think that that's something that he does. Every time I see the Batcave and it's just like Batman and Alfred at Wayne Manor, and we have this real elaborate Batcave, I get a little upset because you're not going to convince me that these two people built that Batcave.
No, but he's rich, so he has Wayne Corp. Wayne Corp
fine.
Has construction, excavation. They have everything. Then we're just going to gloss over the fact that Batman and Alfred are mass murderers. No, the fact that he can keep all of his workers silent and build that, and they not be like, "Yo, we know you're fucking Batman, Mr. Wayne." Like we just,
right?
You know what I mean? Like
he's already a billionaire.
I don't believe that it's just a network of two people. How many workers is he paying per month?
That's a lot of hush money. I do not believe he's paying out that kind of hush money. I think when they get to the completion of the project and they're all like, first of all, who's not asking questions as to like,
then
what
he brings
are we building
his
this
interior
for?
Decorator.
Right, like what are we actually building? And you're like, oh, don't worry about it.
Why do you need a nuclear powered turntable that you can put a car on?
It's a wine cellar for my. Well, you know what? Go to Dubai. They have plenty of those.
See, nobody's buying that.
I'm rich. Don't ask questions. This is what rich people build.
They ain't got nothing else better to do with their money.
And I would say that I have nothing else better to do. Another.
I've already got it figured out.
Have another slice of camembert.
They invite everybody out onto the turntable. They pass out the champagne. Everybody does a toast and they drink the champagne, except for Alfred and Bruce. And then they just push the bodies off the side. There's no way. There's no way they're paying that kind of. They're not paying that kind of hush money to keep these people quiet.
No, but you just be like, listen, yo, you're one of Batman's special deputies. I'll call you sometime.
A special deputy, like just waiting for that call.
Give him a little badge,
Here's your Dakota
Top
ring.
flight security.
A signed 8x10.
Top flight.
Not top flight. Oh man.
Yeah, top flight security. Yeah.
You know what? That's like the one secret club.
Here's what he did, Sam.
Okay.
So when he was taking bids for this job, right, to build the Batcave, he's taking bids, contract.
Okay.
He's like, oh, you've made a house that goes into the ground. Oh, you've made this pool that does this. Oh, he finds the most jaded, disconnected construction crew that has done the most whack crap for celebrities, to where when he's like, I want to build an underground cave, nuclear powered, with a turntable for a car and a bat computer the size of half a cavern. They don't even bat an eye. They're like, here's your quote.
Right. They're like, that's nothing compared to Kanye's sex dungeon.
That's what he did.
Like, yeah.
A secret layer.
You know what?
Yeah, that's
what
nothing.
we did.
You should see what we put in Charlie Sheen's house, right? Like, yeah.
It's like, you know what? Just hire all the people from the Army Hammer house project.
Yeah, like what? Hey, listen, 100% complete. It's in the contract. 100% complete confidentiality. I can't even say it.
But you know what? I still feel like that NDA. I mean, like, come on, man. You helped build Batman's Batcave, Ain't no amount of hush money you go. I'm telling everybody.
But it's still Batman, so he's like Liam Neeson in Taken.
If you tell
wherever
anyone,
he is, I will find
I
you.
wonder if he's going to
I
break
will
your
find
legs
you.
or pay you.
You just
It'll
built
leak,
my
though.
technology.
you know what? I think that's
you
actually. I
just
think
built it. You know
we
what I'm
finally
working
cracked
with.
the code. We
Yeah.
finally
It'll
cracked the
leak
code
out.
as to why Batman does so much damage to the average, like some guy who's just walking across the street,
Working
jaywalking.
class, yeah. To the working class.
The way
yeah.
he beats their ass, and he hired me, so he already knows exactly who I am. That's what he did to a random person. What the hell is he gonna do to me? Yeah, that's you know what? That's why he goes so hard.
And that's why I'd be like,
I feel bad for my grandma.
why did I build this? Ha
Who
ha.
I
We built this shit
told.
at Chris Brown's house. You know, we built the cocaine slalom. And no offense, allegedly. You know
Allegedly.
what I'm saying?
I mean, you know, that's how you got to protect
So
yourself.
like,
Allegedly.
but it's like, guess
I didn't
what?
tell.
I am fucking Jay-Z, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I am fucking Batman, nigga. I'll
What you gonna do
out-rap
about
you,
it?
boy.
Nothing.
I'll put you on the Summer Jam screen, boy. Play with me.
Have you
Yeah.
seen all those posters in Crime Alley? Do you want your picture there? I if I were you. And I mean, honestly, they kind of examined that in one of the movies because I remember it is Morgan Freeman playing. What's the character he in
The Black Ninja boy. That one with Christian Bale, right? That
Yeah,
was
the one with Christian Bale.
The Batman, right? Yeah.
He actually talks to there's a guy who comes in the office and he's like, I want this. Lucius Fox. He
Yeah.
comes into Lucius's office and he's like, you know what? I figured it out. I know this and I want this. He was like, okay, so you feel that your boss, Bruce Wayne, is Batman. And you decide that you want to blackmail him for money. The man who beats up criminals for fun.
Rich
Okay.
boy who puts on a suit, a costume between 11 and 4 a.m. Like,
You know what I'm saying? He's like, if that's what you think you want to do, then okay. And then the guy kind of thinks about it for a moment. He's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna just go back to work.
Yeah, you
Forget
right.
I said
You know what?
anything.
Matter of fact, you
So
right.
I could absolutely see that being how it actually goes down. That is very realistic.
And
let's see.
Superman, how about his sidekicks, right? Like he don't. So I've always thought in movies, secret identity revealing of superheroes always
Right.
makes it a little bit dangerous or corny.
Definitely corny.
The Mary Jane kiss, top corny reveal.
You know what? I think when okay, which kiss? You talking about the upside down
The
kiss?
upside down Mary Jane kiss.
Well, see, the
corniest
thing
reveal.
is, because she still didn't know she was kissing Peter, she was only kissing Spider-Man. That kind of makes it a little worse. Because it didn't matter who Spider-Man actually was at that point. She just, she was just feeling some kind of way.
But
It
she
could've
knew
been-
it was Peter. That's why she had that. Wait, it's familiar. Like it was a girl movie. That was that part. It was like a woman knows the man that she loves type of vibe. Corny reveal. Same
Okay.
thing with Lois Lane kissing Superman. Didn't that happen? Like in Lois and Clark, like
that has happened a couple of times. I don't think it was Lois and Clark where it happened, but I know if nothing else, he has this weird, like in the movies, he had this weird thing where he would kiss them to make them forget. Every time he would kiss Lois Lane, she would forget. Margot
too.
Kidder.
Yeah.
right. Well, forget. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So it's-
Clark.
Right, like and the one time they're like at the little suite and he kisses her and she's just standing there like faded and like drooping off to the side. Then he goes, he puts his glasses on, he walks over, taps her, and she's like, "What'd you get here?" I'm like, you cool
Right.
with that? Like, bro, what?
But remember Superman 4 when he was all like 5 o'clock shadow and drunk Superman, like ripping up stuff. Her kiss brought it.
We
That was
we don't talk about Superman 4.
Yeah, I was like, hey, whoa.
He said, "Hold on."
There's
now."
okay, so there's Superman.
We don't talk about Superman 4.
Richard.
Stop
Stop it, Richard Pryor until he returns.
Look, there's Superman.
No
There's
5 o'clock.
Superman
You
2.
mean Superman
Superman
5 o'clock?
2, the Donner cut. Superman 3, and then we go right to Superman Returns.
and then Superman,
But what about the oil spill? Jimmy Olsen and the
just
fire?
like D&D 4th edition. We don't talk about 4th edition.
Look, anything that involves Solar Man, we know.
Yeah, nah. Any Nuclear Man, Lex Luthor stuff, like we don't really even mention Supergirl. Like,
What about Shazam? We're not Shazam fans over here.
So,
I like Shazam. It's all right.
oh no, huge Shazam fan now. I
Now,
can't
Shazam
wait
has
for
done
that
a
movie.
good
later
job,
on
and
this
they've
month.
actually
Shazam
done-
was only good in the 2-player video game on the arcade where your brother had to play with Shazam because I'm Superman, bro. You're
yeah.
Shazam. The
Wow,
side-scrolling game.
That's a throwback right there.
You remember that game?
Damn.
Yes.
Superman, and then the 2-player version had Shazam in it. It was like Contra in the air. But Rob was always Shazam because ain't no way.
Gotta get, and you know what? As long as you got first controller, whoever hit start first, that's how it goes.
I mean, I'm just not being Shazam. I don't care where I'm at.
But it did not dawn on me when Superman kissed
I'll wait
somebody.
for a
and
bathroom
then-
break and switch controllers.
Well,
I'm
in
just
4,
saying.
like I said, in Superman 4, the redemption of Superman. No.
No. I mean, like the kiss for Superman at that
He's
time,
like,
like
look at
my
him.
man,
I'm like, what's against 4? He went back and regrounded himself. He was wilding out. Like, that was his journey of like,
They should have stopped at 3 though. You got to admit 1 through 3 are way stronger than 4.
absolutely. But that 5 o'clock shadow
4
and him actually being
Had that
destructive.
B movie cut.
They don't know when to stop.
That was
I'm
in
pretty
He
sure
did that.
another
He did that in 3.
No, Supergirl was when they didn't know when to stop. I hated that movie. I remember seeing that on video and being like, oh, I could have not seen this ever.
That Superman has hypnosis power.
yeah, that Kryptonian kiss, man. That's like the same way
It's
Spock
cool.
has the mind meld. He can touch your head in a certain way and read your brain. Superman will kiss you and make you forget
Silver
stuff.
Age comics, Golden Age.
Oh, it's cool.
comics,
But when Bill Cosby do it, it's a problem.
And 2.
Ah!
Probably the best
Instances where his is in a pill.
pinnacle of that. I think.
No,
Hush
I
money.
would say as far as the secret identity, I liked the run for. I was a little bit into. It's actually a little bit more recent, but Superman just gave up being Clark Kent. It was just Superman all the time because everybody knew Superman was Clark Kent.
Mhm.
And this has probably been in the last year, 2 years. I want to say that's under the Tom Taylor storyline. That has actually been kind of refreshing to not have to do the whole like everybody like the building's about to fall and collapse and no one knows where Clark is, but there's
Right.
Superman to save the day. And then somehow Clark comes out from up under the rubble afterwards. Like, bruh, stop. And
And just brushes his suit off like, oh, wow, that was a doozy, wasn't it? Like,
right.
A pair of glasses. Am I a different person now?
Okay, so
I know Superman.
So
I don't know
there's a couple of different theories on that.
there
And see,
you
it's funny
go.
'cause
There you go.
now you all realize you're getting into my wheelhouse and talk about Superman. So how much time do you have? I'll be happy to break it down. But no, there's a couple of different things. And I mean, honestly, if you really go back and you look at it, there are legitimately some scenarios and situations where you can see a person, and if they change their hair and put on glasses, they legitimately look like a different person. And given that most people are not close enough to Superman to truly, they see the costume, they see the cape, they see a man flying by. Most people don't know what he looks like. Now, I will say that there are people who are in Clark Kent's inner circle. Lois Lane has to be the dumbest person on the planet. As much time as she spends around both Clark and Superman, I at least need her to be like, I've known for years.
Right. You have no perception.
Like I've known for
Same
years,
eyes,
and I
same
just didn't
hair
say
texture,
anything.
Same scent. Like you literally are wearing the same sock. Like, is that a Superman uniform underneath of your suit, Clark? What are we doing?
Something simple like that would have, just a simple explanation for her to be like, you know what, please give me more credit. I've known for years. I figured whenever you were ready to tell me you would, blah, 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 blah. But having her just like run out there and be the Dutz and not know, despite the fact that she spends so much time with both of them. And then it's like, the only other exception I can say, and this kind of goes to your comment earlier, Sam, where you were talking about the Mary Jane kiss. Like, clearly Clark didn't get no play from Lois because Superman was her dude.
Right.
And I feel like at some point she should have been like, Clark, that feels a little familiar.
Yeah.
You not Superman, are you? Because the only person I know that does that, you know what I'm saying? Like something should come about it that way. And if
right,
it
even
doesn't,
like I said, like the touch of your hand, or like like the conversation. Yes, Lois, so good to see you. Yeah.
I mean, they have gone on many times to kind of explain and break down that there is a big difference in his mannerisms and his, like, he is literally, think of it like a person with a dissociative personality disorder, something like that. Think of
right,
like
he's trying to pretend
glass.
to be something he's not, so it's gonna.
There's a complete separation, and that's why I say I was really refreshed when they finally came around and did the one where it was just him, and that was refreshing. So that I'm looking forward to. If they can get back to doing stuff like that. I
didn't like when they tried to make it like Green Lantern-y after his death, when they turned it into like all the aliens and all that.
When Superman first died and they did Funeral for a Friend, they brought everybody in. They had Reign of the Superman. That was a nice little comic arc that took place, and they went through and that gave us an opportunity to see some other stuff. After he, finally comes back fully revived and he, regains the mantle of Superman. We are now introduced to the Cyborg, the Eradicator, Steel, and Superboy. Superboy had a nice run after that. Steel had a nice run after that. The Cyborg, he kind of went crazy, and he ended up being a problem for like years. And the Eradicator just left because there was no need for him to be there any longer. They also came out a little bit after that, just trying to kind of revamp Superman, do something a little different, and they went Superman Red, Superman Blue, just so that they could mix it up a little bit. They've actually touched on that in the last year or so, so we've gotten a little bit of a nod to the older comics from that.
And that was also a bit in the DC animated, right, where they did the.
They examined the way his powers can alter and things like that. So, I mean,
I remember the alternate universe, like the Russian Superman and all of that.
That would be Red Sun. That was an anime.
Right.
That's actually one of the better graphic novels. I'm a big Mark Millar fan. Everybody hears that I talk about it way too much, but that was actually a really, really good story written by Mark Millar. And he is my favorite comic writer. Like, everything that he's written is phenomenal. He did Jupiter's Legacy. He wrote the original comic for Wanted, Marvel's Civil War. I mean, Mark Millar is that dude. And
Marvel Civil War has to be probably
that's a top five.
Top 5. Infinity Wars, of course.
Yeah, that's a top 5. I would say Crisis on Infinite Earths. Kingdom Come.
All of those,
Marvel Civil War. Third party, I'm gonna say Wanted, and see, it's like it's weird because I'm like, do I put Infinity War over Old Man Logan?
Age of Apocalypse for me.
Ooh,
that was a good one for me. Like,
they would both make top 10.
I like Age of Apocalypse. I like that.
Sin City. Yes,
I like
Sin
Old
City,
Man
definitely.
Logan. I like Old Man Logan a lot.
Yeah, that Old Man Logan comic was so phenomenal. Just, I mean, the story, again, one of those, like, the world that was built. It was the age heroes were gone, the age of villains, and they've actually kicked off a whole new series with that. Finally, it's called Marvel Wastelanders, and there's a couple of heroes that survived, and Black Widow, Star-Lord, Rocket, Hawkeye, Wolverine, Kitty Pryde. It's a handful that you can go through, but all of them are still alive, and it's a great story. So that would be one that I would definitely say to check out. We are right at the 144. I clipped out earlier some greatest hits as I was thinking that we weren't going to have a show, but I have to say I appreciate the fam, love the fam coming through, making this a hell of a show. This might be one of our best shows. So
Thank
we
you
have
for
to
the invite.
Yeah, thank
problem.
you, brother.
If that's all I got to do, then I'll just be like just spamming it to everybody from now on. Like
yeah.
I'm just like, if that's all I had to do, like hell, we could have been did.
Well, I happen to see you guys live, so just give me some advanced scheduling so I can be like, hey, make sure to tune in and give me the link. I'll share the link and all that.
And I assure you can look for us weigh-in Wednesdays. Our show is Wednesday, and I typically say around 9. Like today's show started 9:15. Some nights I start at 9. I think the latest I've started was like at 9:30. But for the most part, I try to have everything on point, and I will. Okay, so I'm gonna just send out all the invitation links. I'm gonna go through. I got like 1,500 friends on my Facebook. Everybody getting a link next week. I'm gonna see how many.
Everybody.
See how many.
Yeah,
y'all
let
show
them know
up
they can join.
to the
They can
live.
join in and be live on the video chat if they.
I mean, and that's something that's,
Yeah.
and I think that's something that is a little bit different. And you know what? I have to give a shout out to my homeboy Pickle Rick, because he told me, he was like, man, just send the link out. I'm sure people would, people would be willing to hop on. I was like, all right, let's do it then. And sure enough, he was right. So we were able to fill up a show tonight. And DJ, I missed you when we did our last music show, man. Remember, fourth Wednesday is our music special. So don't plan nothing fourth Wednesday. First Wednesday is
plan to have my stuff. Plan to have my stuff in your inbox. Plan music.
Oh,
I can't wait.
There you go. Actually, you know what? No. You come back on fourth Wednesday. That is our music special.
Let's
so
go.
That'll be the highlight.
Sammy Dimes,
featured
baby.
artists all
Let's
night.
go.
We'll just rotate your tracks over and over.
I'm gonna come on the fourth Wednesday. We're at the first Wednesday, right? So
this is second
it's the
Wednesday.
second Wednesday because the first. Okay, my math is math. I'll be there in 2 weeks with a intro for you all. World premiere on your fourth Music Wednesday.
All right, so that'll be the 22nd. All right,
my math is mathing now. I know.
There we go. So on the 22nd, we're gonna have a whole new intro. We're gonna have a music special. We're gonna have special guest host Sammy Doms coming through, and the whole conversation with. I think last time we talked about music and geek culture, the influence of the two. I think coming up, we're going to talk about like the best theme songs, best intros, best closing, best soundtracks, something along those lines. We'll talk about the music specific to various media. So, but I've edited my Grown A Geeks greatest hits reel. It's actually 30 minutes. It could be a lot longer, but I just thought, why not? I'll just make this. I think I'm just going to upload this one as an individual. We are just going to, let me see, export. There we go. And yeah, that's going to be available on the YouTube. So we'll have that coming up here soon. True, where are you going, darling? You riding somewhere? It's late.
I go to my second job.
Okay. We going. You know what? I was feeling kind of bad. Like I know we talked about. You keep it real, but if you had our way to an appointment, girl, let us go. Call us back. But you going to work. So. Oh wait, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna be watching. I'm gonna be in the comments. I'm gonna be watching. Even though if I'm not a guest or not, I'm still gonna. Now that I know that you have a podcast, right? So
right.
I'll be in soon.
So I have to reach out. I'm gonna send out individual links because apparently that was the element that was missing. I was posting on my page, but now I got to send out individual links. So we will. Y'all see
there's a way where you could kind of do a reminder. Hey, I'm going live. That's on the page, but then also send through Messenger. Hey, I'm going live.
Right. I mean, well, what I've been doing these last couple of weeks is I set up on the Oh shit! You know what? We have our 200 members. I gotta do our reveal. We gotta pick our winner. I completely forgot. So real quick, somebody give me a number 1 through 200.
10.
164.
One more time. You know what? I heard 3 numbers. Let me get that. I heard 10, 164, and what was the other?
50.
10, 50, 164. All right. That's 3 winners. I'm going to do a random number generator, and I'm going to contact the member who corresponds to said number, and that's going to be our winner. And they are going to be the proud owner of a Mandalorian and Grogu statue.
All right, I'm a little upset right now because I want one. That's tight. That's tight. That's tight.
Mudhorn sigil, the Mudhorn clan on the base. And yeah, this is 3D printed by yours truly.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Bro. Very dope.
So
My numbers, Dick.
So that was a 3D printed. Let's see. Let me see here if it will show these.
No numbers in the chat. Nobody applied in the chat.
No, what I've got to do is I've got to get I got to copy and paste all of the members from the YouTube, and when I do that, then I can put them on a spreadsheet, and once they're on the spreadsheet, I can correspond and find line 10, 50, and 164, and those will be our winners.
All right.
I like that.
That way it keeps it random, and it lets anybody who's a subscriber have a chance to win. And this was the first actual contest we've done, so I've got to announce our winners. So I will reach out, I will contact the winners, and they have to reply. If they don't, then I'm gonna have some statues to give out to some other people. I've even thought about just saying, you know what? If you go to, you know what? I will actually do that. Fuck it, because there's a whole basis to all this. Y'all got me doing a lot of extra stuff right now. But
You do
Get out
3D.
there.
I need to talk to you. I need a 3D printed figure myself just to give out to random people.
no, but let me tell you, like, this is actually really, really dope because I'm doing.
I don't mean it like this. My bad. That sounded crazy. I mean, like.
No, I get what you're saying. Hold on. I get exactly what you're saying.
Samuel B. Morgan, I heard there are certain shops where you go to get 3D printers.
I'm sorry.
This is not the channel for that. That's a different show.
We actually have.
That's a whole different show.
I haven't figured out when
Some
that
tell
show
me
is
that
coming.
might. No one's saying that might be a
That's
two-parter.
So when you talk about
Go
having,
watch. Cover your eyes,
when
son.
you talk about having your own 3D printed figure. Now this one is a
Right on.
Sam, be honest. Was that the
No,
first
I
thing you
meant
printed?
how they do the Ghostface Killer, Method Man joints, like the toys, the MF Dooms. Like I meant.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Miller, this was actually I bought this one. This one is a resin print, but this is actually a 3D printed figurine. I got this when I went on a. You might not be able to see that. I went on a Carnival cruise.
Yeah, no.
And they actually had.
It's very shiny.
There we go.
So
It says 3D me. It says it's 3D me by Carnival Cruise Lines. And when we first got on the boat, this was my travel attire.
That was your drip. No,
That
no
was-
Hawaiian shirt. No shades. You gotta have shades.
No. Because look, we had
Shades.
just arrived.
Where your shade at,
what's wrong with what he's got on?
What?
Hey, what's wrong with what he's got on, man?
I know if I go to Carnival
What's
Cruise
wrong with that
wearing a
shirt,
sucker
man?
suit, I'm
But
wearing
look-
my good pinky
He's such a
ring.
geek.
I don't see nothing wrong with that shirt. I'm just saying.
Right, the shirt
that's a
or the
great
hat.
Shirt.
And again,
It's
I
a
just want to
Superman suit.
specify.
No, I was saying if I was getting a 3D printed figure, I would have on like a seersucker suit, like a boat shoe, some shades. Like you
Oh,
get all,
in fact,
you
this is
gonna get
again,
all this 3D.
I
drip.
did-
He be all decked out.
I didn't
Yes.
know. I literally, we had just gotten to Miami. That was my travel attire.
I
I'm
understand.
comfortable. And then
Dan life.
and then right before we get on the
Sure.
boat,
Okay.
right before we get on the boat, they're like, "Oh, hey, here's a thing you can do. Go ahead, we'll take the picture and we'll send it to you later." And I was like, "Oh, wait, so what? How much does it cost? What do I got to do?" "Oh, I can have my own figurine."
Yeah, for sure. We love those. I
That
know
sounds
you
pretty
love
cool.
those.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Where
You
do
forgot
I
about the
stand?
Rick Clark Kent. You forgot
Where
to
do
change
I
the
stand?
Superman.
The only question
Of
I
course,
have.
my geeky ass is going to get a figure of myself. Of course.
But you're supposed to put suit on over your Superman outfit.
Well, see,
right?
that's like Halloween a couple of years in a
Don't
row.
Clark
You know what I'm
Kent.
saying? And I want to say that that's probably a resin model. That one's not printed the same way as this is. But I'm actually working on some other things right now. I've got a My Hero Academia statue that I'm making, and that was going really, really well. I found something. I was having problems with it at first. I fixed those problems. Now I have new problems. Yeah, actually, you know
He's
what?
learning how to use a 3D printer, y'all. Look at this
Right.
guy. Give it up for a grown ass geek still learning new things, y'all. Give it up for my guy. Yes, indeed. Might as well.
And you know what? The cool thing about it is, as a result, I figure, you know what? Share the love. This printed, it came out good, and I want to make sure that other people have it. I've downloaded a bunch of files today, so I'll have some other little nifty giveaways and whatnot. And I downloaded a Millennium Falcon, some stuff from Mass Effect. I found a bunch of video games that I like. Grogu, something for my wife. Just, you know, a lot of cool stuff. And I'm going to be working on getting all that kind of stuff. So what I'm
I'll
going
go through my links. I have some old D&D 3D printer things that I'll have to find and send you.
Okay, we can definitely make it happen, because what I'm going to do is, let me see, how do I? No, not what I want. Not what I want. I want to see my link. Share.
Hey, that's really cool, guys. Like that 3D printing, you know, that's when your own characters come to life, you know. And next time we'll talk about the characters that we created and drew.
And I mean, honestly, there's gonna be a way for me to incorporate that even more. So this is what I do. I will take it a step further. Jeff, you say you like this. You just inspired me to make this available for people. And all I'm gonna ask that you do is go to our where is it? I will present this page. So right here, if you scan the QR code that I normally have up on screen, it will take you to this page. If you go to this page, this will take you to the option. You have the option right here where you can click on the Facebook. That'll take you to our Facebook group, our Instagram. That takes you to our YouTube. Right here where it says tips and love offering, take your pick, whichever one you want to do, and we will include this Mandalorian. I will actually come up with a nice selection of options available, but depending on what level of offering you give, we will include a 3D statue for it. And now, technically,
That's
if you just want to look at it as,
tie-in.
if you feel like you bought something, you could do it right there. You know, we'll say that the Mandalorian statue, this is like a $10 purchase. So if you do a $10, we'll call it $10 love offering. And, you know, we'll make some contact info, get in touch with me, communicate, and we will get you one of these figurines.
Awesome. You know, I need one. Win or lose, I need one.
And so I think that'll be the way that we do this. So for anybody who does not have it, for anybody who does not see it and isn't aware of how to get there, click the QR code there in the corner.
Leave it up for a sec. Guys. It's flashing.
Yeah, that's the new thing now. I've got it, so it like scans and flashes. So you scan that QR code. You scan that QR code. It'll take you to the link tree. The link tree has all of our content. All of our content is available there. You can find our merch line. If you want to wear a Grown A Geek shirt, if you want a Grown A Geeks hoodie, you want a Grown A Geeks mug, I have all of that stuff available on the merch line. You want to find our podcast.
Oh my God. I just realized what the A stand for.
I was about to say what the A stands for. I was about to be
Oh my God! I just realized what the A stand for. God damn, I'm slow.
Well, that's why it kept
Grown
throwing me
ass
off
geeks.
when you were saying grown a geeks. Grown I was like, just say the letter A. Grown A geeks. Like it's 3 words.
Yeah,
Grown
like oh
A
my
geeks.
God, it just dawned on me. Like what the hell? What the A stand for?
Oh, yeah,
Oh my
this
You
God,
a
I feel
grown
so
ass
slow.
geek. Tap
This is an
into
18.
this show.
Yeah.
And look,
We some
when you
grown ass
join
geeks, dog. Like,
when
we
you
grown,
join our
but we
Facebook
some
group,
grown.
we actually have a dedicated section, a dedicated portion of our group geared more towards the more adult themed content. We call that Gag After Dark. Gag being
Nice.
grown A geeks, the adult content, Gag. So a little bit of wordplay there, and that is available on our
Nice.
Facebook group. So
And surprisingly popular, actually. We're on our 3rd version.
yeah,
More popular than the regular one.
Each version has over 1,000 comments. So
yeah, and it's pretty full. Matter of fact,
Hey guys, hey, here's another one. Free marketing tool.
So
How
you got
about
this right here, and
yeah,
then,
you guys gag order. Get your gag order today, right?
there we go.
A gag
So-
order is something you're not supposed to talk about. We're not supposed to tell people that we watch wrestling or this, that, the third.
So, speaking of gag order, is that a gag right there? Okay, so this is Gag After Dark right there. That's the type of content you're gonna find there. So, a lot of fun to be had. But I got to remember that. Actually, you know what? We've had a couple of different thoughts, a couple of different things that we've gone through, and at one point when we were going to do, we had a sports focus. We had a sports section, and it was Gag on These Balls. We have the adult content, which is
Yo, I do sports. I do sports. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like a sports guy.
I love it.
I mean, you know what?
I pull out my coaching jackets if you.
I could always have somebody head up the sports.
I swear to God.
I could always have somebody heading up the sports, and like we used to run this.
I'm not heading up no balls. No, I'm not gagging on no balls or heading up anything. Hey, yo.
Well, I mean, we did alter it.
I thought
over
we were
time.
talking about comic books, my guy.
Well, I mean, there's so much stuff that you can geek out about. It doesn't just have to be. But see, that's the beauty of it. When you're a geek, there's a certain obsession to all different types of things. So it's not
geeks made boobs popular, right? Like nobody is more obsessed with boobs than geeks.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Weird Science. Remember? That was geeks that built the junk. Like
the nerds.
And there is a lot of truth to that. So I mean, whether it be
even
music,
now,
movies,
TV shows. Women go to the Dominican Republic and they have geeks working on them butts. Like,
you know what I'm saying? And like you said, the main difference, of course, is that the geeks have the social affluency to interact with people, whereas nerds
they're
tend
Bruce
to be
Wayne and Tony Stark. They drive Porsches and they give Jones titties and butts, and they get money and live in mansions and drive yachts. Oh, they're villains. They're the real villains.
They're the real villains.
Go into work,
they're the
guys.
real heroes.
Hey, invite me again. I'm gonna go into work, so invite me again one day. I'll come back on and join your live again.
All right, you have a good, safe shift, and we'll talk to you later.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
See you, darling.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm not headed to work, but I am headed to sleep to go to work. 6
Oh
a.m.
no, we're
early. So.
Oh yeah, no, I'm at the 2-hour mark. I really want to do better about not making this a 4-hour stream. I want to try to keep it right at 2. So
there were times, man. It was a marathon, not a sprint.
Right. And so it's like we've done better, and we pace ourselves. We have 1 to 2 topics. We discuss those topics. We wrap it up. We're short and sweet.
So let's just call this a trial run for special guest hosts.
Oh, absolutely.
Just tap me in at about like the 45-minute mark and cut me off at an hour, and then y'all go for the other 15 minutes, and I'm good.
See, that'll work. That'll be the formula moving forward, it definitely seems like it's a you got to call your montages clip show gag reflex.
And I'll get a better background.
Gag reflex.
Ah,
Gag reflex. Oh,
Listen.
I love
is that
it.
our
Comedy
yoga segment?
gold
That's our
right
yoga
there.
It writes itself,
Comedy-
man. That's why I can't
Comedy
see every time I
gold.
think about rebranding, I can't rebrand because I'm so tied in now. I have to use that. So you know what? Actually, that is the perfect name. I have my greatest hits show. My first episode of my greatest hits is about to go live on YouTube here in like the next few minutes. And that's what it's going to be called. I'm going to make a special post for that. Gag reflex. And then put ha 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 next to it. That'll be in the description.
You get a golf clap, whoever you
That
are.
is. I think that
was
was
Facebook user on my end. So
that would be Lars.
That's high quality.
That
That
would
is
be
high
Lars.
quality. Yo,
I'm telling you,
that
man.
person like
No, I have the
give that
team.
person some sort of
You know
3D
what?
print.
They
Give
deserve
them
a
3D
badge.
print, a coin.
They get a
Give them a
badge.
coin.
A
They're
Y'all don't
officially a
understand.
badge.
That's my
grown-ass
producer.
geek. Yeah, they're officially a
Those are
grown-ass
so
geek.
rare.
Make them coins, dog.
Y'all don't realize that's my producer. You know what? You're absolutely right. I will actually. That's what the next thing I got to do. I got to get some challenge coins. I got to get some Grown A Geeks challenge coins made. And when you do something big
And
like
so
that,
this is the other thing. Those are
gosh.
tests for you on the press. If you have to print up 100 of the same shit, then you know what I mean.
yeah. I mean that would definitely. I think the challenge coin option might be pretty good. Actually, you know what? The funny part is the person that made that suggestion. He would be the one to take my logo and make it something that I could actually print off. Like have it and just create it, put it in a circle, and
No,
then,
just make it the size of a dime and say Sammy Dimes told you to do this. My
boom.
cousin.
There
with
it
the
is.
same name. Bang. Samuel
is.
B. Morgan. Differentiate. See, I had to add the Yule and the B, but I'm a Sam Morgan. Let's
Not a
not.
problem.
Yeah.
Another elder geek, as you all can see. So, like
I'm a
we grew up
thug,
like this.
baby. It's like I'm an athlete. No, I'm a geek. We're all geeks.
We're all geeks, man. We grew up this way. But do not confuse our geekness for weakness.
How long have you had that in the tool shed, Sam?
I've been waiting to use that. You have
That's
no
bars.
idea.
That's
like
bars.
6
That's
months,
bars.
a year.
I verified.
Like how long you had
At
that
least
wait?
6
That's
months.
bars. My cousin
At
got
least 6
bars
months.
too. Look, my
I've been
cousin
waiting to-
got bars too. This guy
been
right
waiting to
here, he's
unload
got
that one.
bars. This
And he
guy,
was talking about
that guy,
the
where's
thugs. I was
he
like,
at in my
ooh,
screen?
there it is.
Brady
So,
Bunchy.
it's all about
That
the
guy's
word.
got bars.
It's all about the wordplay. You know what I'm saying? That's like Jason Mraz.
All
right,
right,
man.
now you're reaching there. I don't.
Okay, that was
I do remember him, but I'll go now. I'm gonna.
But that
look
was
up Jason Mraz. That's what geek.
Mr. AZ. That was actually his thing, and that was one of his lyrics. DJ can probably back me up on that, but because I'm sure he's probably had to cater to a certain
Week
number of parties
4.
and
Don't
probably
forget
paid.
about week 4, Wednesday.
Oh no, it's on my it's on my calendar.
Yeah.
It is on my calendar.
That's
So
it.
I will
That's
let my
it
music
right
people
there.
know.
Yeah.
Once it's on my calendar, it's locked in, and I get very upset
Same
if
for
it
me,
doesn't go
Sam.
down. Like
Same for me. Once it's in the phone on the calendar, that's it.
yes, like that. I will be reminding you the week of. Be like, all right, it's Sunday. Don't forget this Wednesday. So we'll be setting up.
I'm gonna
Thursday.
try to get one of my like prominent athlete geek friends to get on next week with you guys for the athlete segment. That's what I'm gonna try to do. I've got a
We,
week.
we always have fun every Wednesday. We never know where it's going to take us.
Yeah. Because this week ended up being a canceled week because we were supposed to do Fancast It, and Fancast It was going to. Okay, so get this: we were going to come up with the cast for.
I remember the plan. We're giving away too many plays. Let's just holler. We're at 2 minutes 8. I love y'all, man.
208. Not a problem, man. Hey, this has been a great show. I want to thank my special guest, True Story. Be sure to follow her on TikTok. Check the comments to find her. I want to thank Sammy Doms, my cousin, for coming through. Samuel B. Morgan. Jeff, my man. Love it when you're here, man. So happy to have you back in. We are Grown A Geeks. You're awesome for being here, and we are out of here. All right? Peace.